Wisdom. It's an incredibly valuable asset. Some would say more precious than gold. It's attractive, appealing, admirable. Conversely, a lack of wisdom is the basis of immaturity, blind spots, and bad decisions. Wisdom. It can be gained over time, but it can't be rushed. But wisdom can be shared. That's precisely what we are here to do right now. Today, we are here to hack wisdom, to distill it, to understand it, and to process it. Why? To get better at life. Welcome to the main thing. This is your new Wisdom Podcast. I'm your host, Skip Lineberg, and I've set out to interview the wisest people I know. We'll see what we can learn from each one when they're faced with an incredibly difficult, soul-piercing question. Hey, this is Skip, your host. It's always great to welcome you back here to this place of wisdom, learning, and personal growth. It's our little learning space, and I'm honored to share it with you each and every time. Today, we're doing something a little different. I'll be sharing a wisdom lesson with you, but there won't be a guest, just me sharing wisdom. It's a short wisdom lesson, about 10 minutes total, and we're calling these Skip's Quips. Don't worry, we'll still bring you our wisdom conversations with our special guests twice a month. But I think you'll find these Skip's Quips a nice complement to our regular wisdom programming. We plan to do these about 6 times a year. That's extra wisdom for you. So for now, get ready for our next episode of Skip's Quips, right here on the Main Thing podcast. We had no budget, no plan, just a chance to make history. And I said yes. Let me take you back to where this story all began. It was a sunny morning in early 2002. It was June, maybe around 10:15-ish in the morning. And not the sharp, blinding kind of sunlight that shoots straight in when the day's just begun, but the kind that wraps around you, warm, overhead, cozy. That kind of late morning sun that says summer is here, even if the calendar hasn't caught up yet. From my 13th floor office in downtown Charleston, that sunlight was streaming in gently across my desk. I had had my morning large dark roast coffee, big, bold coffee, the kind that wakes up your mind, and a fresh bagel from the Chesapeake Bagel Bakery just across the street. It was shaping up to be one of those productive, peaceful Wednesdays. The office around me hummed with its usual rhythm. Phones ringing, voices rising and falling, the occasional whir of the copier or the screech of a fax machine. Yeah, it was 2002. That was all just a few doors down the hall. And teammates strolled past, interacting with each other, some leaning into a teammate's office for a quick, "Hey, got a sec?" Others popping in to bounce ideas around. If you listen closely, just beyond the office noise, you could hear the soft, muffled sounds of city life outside and below. My office sat right above the intersection of Capitol and Lee Streets. Through the thick, tall windows of our 75-year-old building, up on the 13th floor, you could still catch the hum of traffic below. Brakes, car horns, maybe a city bus shifting gears as it pulled away from the curb or a stoplight. It was faint, but always present, like a steady, familiar reminder that the world is in motion right outside your window. My office door was open mostly, but it always drifted about 3/4 shut, thanks to the weight of my suit jacket hanging on the back hook. Yes, I wore a suit back then. Again, it was 2002. Boy, I was deep in thought, poring over research data for a client. Not just reading numbers, but decoding them and trying to turn columns and rows into insight, strategy, and answers for this client. In the zone as I was, I'd flipped my desk phone to DND, Do Not Disturb, something I often did when I needed deep focus. That's why the call didn't come directly to me. It rang into our front desk, into Ashley. A moment later, I heard a light knock, gentle but urgent, just a few taps. Her voice followed almost instantly, and I could tell it was full of excitement. Skip, someone from the White House is on the phone for you." And just like that, I was out of the zone. But was it for real? Really the White House? Or was it a prank call? Was it a friend playing a joke? The voice on the other end, someone from the White House Communications Office. It was the actual White House. See, President George W. Bush was coming to Ripley, West Virginia for the 4th of July that year in 2002. And he wasn't just coming for a quick whistle stop. He was going to spend the whole day here in West Virginia. And the ask? Well, the White House team wanted us, Maple Creative, to help plan the visit, to be their local team. Boots on the ground. They wanted us to design a logo for the visit, manage the media, and coordinate everything on the ground, all the front work, and also pay for it all. I was stunned, just stunned. Now, the voice belonged to someone we knew, a young woman I'll call H. She had worked for us very briefly, for less than a week. She was going to be our summer intern that year, but after just about 2 days, she got the call, a position with the White House press office. Truly a bigger, better deal, a once-in-a-lifetime, unprecedented opportunity, and of course, she took it with our full blessing. But fast forward, when the time came to plan this visit to Ripley, she remembered us. She remembered Maple Creative. She remembered me. Now, let me give you a little bit of background about our company. At that point in 2002, Maple Creative was only about 15 months old. We were still a true startup. We were bootstrapping, hustling to survive. Every dollar mattered and every client mattered. So when H said, "We want you to design the logo, coordinate the media, manage the event, and pay for all the production," my very first thought was, how in the world are we going to pay for this? Printing costs, add specialty items, staff time, banners, programs, t-shirts, equipment. We had never done anything of this magnitude. But when I thought further and I began to break it down, well, the design work, we were great at that. Event planning, we had solid experience too. Media outreach, that part was going to be very, very easy. The president coming to Ripley, West Virginia, that would be the easiest press release to write, the easiest media pitch ever. Every media outlet in the region was going to show up for this. Even when it came to managing the press corps on the ground, we had a few on the team who could handle that, some who had some experience in that arena. So did I consider saying no? Yeah, honestly, for a moment. You know, the fear kicked in, all the what ifs. But right behind that fear came something stronger. Something told me, we have to do this. We must. We don't have all the answers, but we'll figure it out. So I said yes. And that yes set everything in motion. Our team jumped in, fired up, excited, honored, thrilled, determined, and I made my next call. Remember, we had to pay for some significant costs. So I called my friend Phyllis, the banker at our bank, and they didn't blink. They agreed to underwrite the whole event, roughly $10,000. And for their support, they earned a seat near the podium that day and a place in the story. They were in the backdrop of all the photos. They got one-on-one time with the president. We designed a strong visual identity for the event. That included media passes, stage design, this t-shirt that you see with the official logo of the visit of the president to Ripley, West Virginia. We still have the proof. We still have the memories. You know, the official lanyard right here, the visit of the president to Ripley, West Virginia, July 4th, 2002. So we got it all done. The media passes, the stage design, the printed programs, the media outreach, all of it. And we still have the proof. We still have the memories. This press lanyard, the official visit logo. These are keepsakes from a summer that we'll never forget. So what was the main thing? Well, really, there were two. First, relationships matter. You never know who will call you years later. Invest in people. Treat them right. It comes back around. And second, sometimes you just have to say yes, even before you're ready. You won't always have the budget or the plan or the playbook, but when the opportunity is once in a lifetime, you say yes, and then you figure it out. Because growth doesn't wait for perfect conditions. You grow by saying yes. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Skip's Quips on the Main Thing podcast. Until next time, keep growing, keep on going, keep pursuing wisdom, and becoming more of who you're meant to be. That's a wrap for this episode. Join us again next time in about 2 more weeks for another Main Thing podcast. That goes by incredibly fast, doesn't it? Time flies when you're hacking wisdom. Thank you for listening to this wisdom conversation. If you enjoyed this podcast and found the wisdom lesson valuable, then I encourage you to share it with a loved one or friend. Did you know podcast recommendations from one person to another remain the strongest form of podcast growth worldwide? It's true, and we'd appreciate you helping spread the good word. Let's give a big hearty thank you to the crew of the Main Thing podcast. These are the folks who truly keep the wisdom pipeline flowing. Audio engineer Bob Hotchkiss, strategy advisor Andy Malinowski, public relations and partnerships guru Rachel Bell, social media and digital marketing expert Chloe Lineberg, graphic designer Emma Malinowski, and of course our patrons, those generous folks who provide monthly funding support to help underwrite our costs of production. I couldn't do it without you, nor would I want to. Your feedback matters a lot. If you have a question, a suggestion, maybe an idea, or even a nomination of a future show guest, I'd love to hear from you. Email me at info@themainthingpodcast.com. Well, that's a wrap for this show. I'm your host, Skip Lineberg, signing off for now and inviting you to join us again next time for another special delivery of wisdom.